there's a reason that you coped by wanting to numb out and separate yourself and turn off your brain. The poem you wrote, The Girl Inside, really spoke to me about that sort of process. Could you read that as well?
Hmm. Hmm. It's quite a long poem, so I'll just read the first part of it.
Great.
Um, Stay hidden, I said to the girl inside. How can I keep you safe if you laugh so loudly in a crowd? How can I make them like you if you shine in their eyes? How can we fit in this small space I've been given if your bigness is on display? Stay hidden, I said. It's for your own good. You can't go around with your heart blazing heat. The moths will come at us, and so will the cold souls, hands out like zombies, seeking warmth, wanting more, always more. It's too much to bear. Stay hidden, stay safe.
And I would think that writing this book was a real challenge, right? Because it's the ultimate step of stepping into your bigness, putting yourself out there, no longer staying small. So tell me about how brave that was of you.
Well, writing these poems was easy because I would never thought I was going to show them to
Oh my
anybody.
gosh.
Deciding that they really represented um, a tool that I thought would be useful to to my sisters in recovery made me feel more brave about it. So the book isn't out yet as we're speaking. It'll be out tomorrow,
Yes.
and I'm
June
excited
19th. It's
and
coming out June
scared.
19th.
June 19th. That's right, 2020. And it is a little terrifying because I really am showing you a very, very private part of myself and telling my story in a way I haven't before. Um, but you know, as I gathered together these poems and realized um, that there was an arc.
Yeah.
I didn't write them in the order that they present in the book. I sort of took them, separated them all out, and decided, you know, there's an arc here, and arranged them in the order of that arc. And it really made me realize that this isn't the story of addiction and recovery. This is the story of losing myself and finding myself again. And so I believe that it's it's a book that will resonate with women who are in any form of trying to change their life and who have lost themselves in a multitude of ways. And so I purposefully did not put alcohol in the title of the
Yeah.
book, or it doesn't, I don't think it appears at all in the entire book, except maybe on the About the Author page,
Yeah.
um, because to me, it's my addiction to alcohol was a symptom of my lost self. So sometimes the disease of lost self is a way that we talk about codependency, because codependency is a really misunderstood term, but it's an umbrella term that includes what you were talking about, the people pleasing and the good girl syndrome and the losing ourself behind this mask that we wear. And I really realized that's what this story is about. And it doesn't matter what stage of finding yourself you're at. Um, you can come where you are and see yourself, I believe, in these
Yeah.
words and in this journey, because I think we go through it multiple times, really. um, like we hopefully just get sober once or twice, right, Casey?
Right.
But like when we stop for good. And yet you know, I didn't, it's been 9 years and I'm still learning so much about myself every day.
Yeah.
So I feel like that the layers are always coming off, and there's something more I learn about myself, and everything I've learned before reinforces it, and it's an amazing
Yeah.
process.
Well, and I think that that is the beautiful thing in life, right? When we're young, for self-preservation, and as we learn about society and what's acceptable and how you succeed and how you get accolades and all those things, you do sort of try to conform and stay small. And that's something that you talk about. And then at some point you say, you know, it's all those, you know, I feel like you're there's something deep inside of you that just tells you this isn't right. This isn't what I meant to be, whether it's those quiet whispers or anxiety or anger or resentment that you are pushing down. And that is what sort of spurs you to find yourself. So I love how you described it, because once you find yourself and integrate yourself and do that work, that's when you finally live with contentment.
And you don't need to people please anymore.
No.
You People pleasing is really manipulation. It's
Yes.
very pleasant
Control.
manipulation,
Control.
but it is control and manipulation. And it is about making ourselves feel safe by controlling the way others react to us or react in a moment. And once we are really secure within ourselves, we don't need to do that as much. So ironically, the second half of that poem, The Girl Inside, the second half of that poem is the voice of the girl inside, who ends up being the hero of the story, who tries to save the person that's hiding her.
Yeah.
So that's the ironic part to me, is that the part of myself that I thought I had to hide away and lock away was really what I needed to bring out. My instincts were 100% wrong, and I had to bring myself out. And this thing that I was so ashamed of about myself, which was just nothing,
Yeah.
I just felt like I wasn't good enough, and that's never true. Like, we are all good enough, or we wouldn't be here. So yeah, that's the irony of it, is that the part that we're trying to hide is the part we most desperately need to bring forward and heal and learn to live with.
Yeah, and the sort of misconception that I had about when I was trying to be the good girl and helpful and please others and do the right thing constantly was that if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be nice and kind and good. And the truth is that, you know, my essence, your essence, almost everyone's, is to be nice and kind and good. But what you're not doing is the constant effort of worrying what other people think of you and trying to control them, and that exhausting, if I do X, what will they think of me? They will think Y, and therefore, like, you're just being who you are and being honest, and then people like the real you, and you have that open, honest connection to them, and that allows them to be honest as well.
And it's okay if they don't like you. It's
Yes.
okay, because when you start to value yourself again, you realize that the currency of someone liking you is also your own. You like yourself. And when you think that you don't count, you think it doesn't count if you don't like yourself. I mean, it literally, to me, something didn't happen if no one but me knew about it? It
Yeah.
just didn't exist until someone else knew about it. So if I was happy, I had to share it with someone so that they could tell me I was happy, or it validated the happiness. I always needed that validation. And when we really start being real with ourselves and considering ourselves a valid person, then we don't have to go out seeking that validation all the time from others.
Yeah, and I'm a big vision board girl. It's kind of funny. But I really believe that putting things up where you can see them sort of replaces the thoughts in your head that aren't helpful, that aren't serving you, and remind you on a daily basis of what is true. And there are two that I absolutely love that came to mind as you were talking. The first is, stop worrying what other people think of you. Most people don't even know what they think of themselves.
Yeah.
And the second one is, you will be too much for some people. Those aren't your people.
Yeah, that is true. And it's okay for some people to shrug and walk away.
Yeah.
It's okay if relationships run their course. I love the expression to release with gratitude, instead of holding on so desperately to friendships that, have perhaps run their course, served their purpose, and to be thankful. I'm thankful I had that. I release it with gratitude. Hopefully it comes back at some
Yeah.
point.